Fossey says, "Good morning football today." Said Jimmy has been balling out of his mind. Why is national media's perception of Jimmy so crazy? I don't know. It seems like everyone is in on it, on trying to build up a trade value for them that doesn't exist. I don't know what it is. What do you think?
I think that, national media likes to have storylines. They like to have
Yeah,
the worst to
true.
first. They like to ride the hot
Talking about
teams. And San Francisco is on a win streak. There's no doubt. And there aren't very many dominant teams in the league this year. Everybody is suffering from a little bit of unknown identity. There are very few playoff teams that you could say, oh, they're definitely going to take it this year. There's no clear front runner. So they're riding the hot hand and pointing out that the 49ers are riding a win streak. And then it doesn't hurt when you're trying to spin a national story to have a handsome subject matter, to have Jimmy Garoppolo's jawline up on the screen.
I think that's a big thing. He's a media darling. The media
Yes.
really likes him because he's, charming and handsome. But more importantly, he's like football royalty. He came from New England.
I was
And
just going to say that.
Yeah, he's been on two really important franchises. New England, which is New England, and the Niners, which, they haven't been the Niners since the 90s, but still they are the Lakers. They are the West Coast franchise in the NFL. The Rams don't matter as much. The Seahawks, they are the Niners are West Coast football. So he's a very important person in terms of the media's eyes, and I think they pump him up. I don't think the NFL looks at him I don't think teams like GMs and coaches are looking at him being like, man, that's the kind of guy we need on our team. No, Kyle makes it work. He's decent, but in the media's eyes, he's royalty.
Yes, he was born of royal bloodlines in New England, hailing from Tom Brady's tree.
Yes.
And they just go back to the storylines that came out in 2019. They just pull from that, which was, let's be very honest, a magical season, save for the end of it. It was a fantastic year for the Niners, and the media ate it up in 2019. They didn't know what to make of 2020, but as soon as you have a flash of it, they latch back on to that storyline because it is a Cinderella type of season that they're pointing back to in 2019.
Nick says, I firmly believe that if Jimmy looked like Nick Mullins, his perception would be so different. He's probably gone by now. There's that, but I think we really get on Jimmy Garoppolo for being handsome. I'm extremely handsome, so I want to put that to the side because it's not his fault.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, so are you, Rob? Look at Rob. Look at that face. Look at that face. What I want to say here is I think it's very much about the New England thing. It's the fact that he was drafted by New England and didn't play. He was a mystery. He was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if he had been drafted by Cleveland? What if he'd been drafted by Cleveland and had to play as a rookie like Colt McCoy? Would anyone think anything of him, or would he just be another guy who was a second-round pick who flopped in Cleveland? I think the New England thing's a big deal.
He was handpicked by Bill Belichick and only allowed, this is the national story, only allowed to leave because of dysfunction between he and Tom Brady and Robert Kraft, and he was forced into this trading away of Jimmy Garoppolo. Otherwise, he would have been the heir apparent. That's still the storyline.
Isn't there a bizarre world where Colt McCoy gets drafted by the Patriots, sits for 4 years behind Tom Brady, and is looked at as some special handpicked heir apparent talent and goes somewhere and actually is good because he looks decent now.
Yes.
And he got written off at about 24 because he failed on the Browns. A lot of guys fail on the Browns. So I think a lot of it is the whole not playing for a long time and being the guy who was groomed by the best of the best.
Yes.
Right. Which team will win over the edges in this game? Which team will win over the edges? I don't know. The Niners.
If the question is who's got the better edge rushers, who's going to win on the edges, I would think the 49ers, but I am worried about this wide nine and Russell Wilson. He does tend to find some 4-lane highways to run through every now and then. Even though he's lost a step, it doesn't seem to matter. So I hope that they rush as a unit and contain him.
Guys, we got to start going a lightning round because I need to catch a flight. But we can finish that. We can finish. Sean says, Grant, why does Carroll own K? He was on Super Bowl staff with Mike in 94, best offense. And no, he was not on the Super Bowl staff in 1994. He came in 95. Best offense and D in the league. He knows their system as well as West Coast offense and knows how Shanny's prep and attack. No, why does Kyle use Pete's D? That's a good question. Why does Carroll own Kyle Shanahan? Carroll usually does a good job of he did a good job against Harbaugh too. Once he sees something for a while, he's a good defensive coach. Kind of like Saleh.
He's a great defensive coach.
Kind of like Saleh. Yeah. Probably an overrated head coach, but
I think people understand someone like Pete Carroll, who is as confident as he is, as great of a defensive defensive coach as he is, understands he can bait Kyle into getting away from what Kyle does so well. He can present a defense that Kyle believes he can take advantage of that actually puts him in a worse position.
Yeah. Thanks, Sean. Sean Dunn says Kyle had no choice but to run against the Rams. Huge underdog at 3-5 and limit Rams pass possessions. Assume tight game, but instead it woke the team up and Levi's. Fair.
Very fair.
Is there anything else? Yes. Modala says late to the party. Love the show, guys. Go Niners, but that plus 125 Seattle line is too sweet to pass up. We'll use the winnings to buy more super chats. Hilarious, but I feel you. Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance together on the field in the Wildcat formation. What do you think, Grant? Yeah, let's get Jimmy handing off to Trey, please. Or Trey handing off to Jimmy.
Oh, no.